Dark Shadows is a Dan Curtis production. Dark Shadows, number 82, VTR 10-10-66, air 10-18-66, take one.
My name is Victoria Winters. In spite of a coroner's decision, a critical question is still being asked, even in Collinwood. Was a man's death accidental, or was he murdered? A question that continues to occupy the mind of a strange and troubled boy.
You won't find the answer to your math problems in there.
I could if I wanted to.
Well, I'd just as soon you wrote them down on paper.
In a minute.
What are you looking for?
Things.
You save it till later. I came up here to help you with your work, not to watch you play with that toy.
I've told you 100 million times it's not a toy. It's a genuine crystal ball, and I can see anything I really want to see in it.
Except your math problems. Now, let's get started.
You think math is more important than catching a murderer?
David, let's not start that again.
Just because my father's being nice to you now, you think he can kill somebody and not get caught.
No, I don't want to discuss this nonsense with you. Now, you turn to page 25 and do the first problem.
Even if the coroner says that Mr. Malloy wasn't murdered, it doesn't make it true.
Well, you're the only one that thinks that.
What about Burke Devlin? He knows my father killed Mr. Malloy, and he's gonna prove it.
Mind if I sit down?
Uh-huh. But it won't do me any good.
What are you reading, Sheriff?
Educational literature, a detective story.
Learn anything?
Well, there's this scene in here about this detective who's sitting in a restaurant trying to relax for a few minutes, and this guy comes along and makes such a pest of himself that the detective picks him up and throws him out the window.
You wouldn't be trying to tell me something, would you, Sheriff?
What do you want, Burke?
Conversation, rest. I'm a little tired. I took a long walk up to Lookout Point and back this afternoon.
What did you go out there for?
Sheriff, did you search that area thoroughly?
Why?
Well, just suppose that someone had something in his pocket. Say, for instance, a fountain pen. And he left his house, he had this fountain pen in his pocket. He was going to a certain meeting. But when he got to the meeting, he found he didn't have the pen. Now, what would be the logical conclusion?
Are we playing 20 questions now?
It would be that he lost the pen on the way, wouldn't it?
Okay, he lost it. Well, what's the point?
A fountain pen. A silver filigreed fountain pen lost the night Bill Malloy died.
Is that what you went out to Lookout Point to find?
Yes. But I didn't find it.
Well, so what do you want from me?
Did you search that area thoroughly?
Yes.
And you didn't find the pen?
No.
Sheriff, this may be important.
Look, Burke, I went over every rock and crevice at Lookout Point. All I came up with was a couple of dozen empty beer cans and a few other odds and ends, but no fountain pen. Not even a little yellow crayon.
Did you search the beach?
Well, there was no need to. Malloy fell off the top of that cliff at high tide. There was no exposed beach that night.
But there were heavy rains right afterwards. If it got stuck in a crevice, it could have washed out to the beach.
Look, Burke, what do you want from me?
I want you to realize that Roger Collins killed Bill Malloy.
Is he the man who had this mysterious, filigree, disappearing fountain pen?
Yes.
And do you know that he lost it at Lookout Point?
know. But it's a possibility.
Look, Burke, there was no murder. When are you going to understand that? And I don't want to hear anything more about searches or fountain pens, huh? The case is closed.
If there are 48 apples, and in each dozen there's 12, that makes 4 dozen, right?
Very good. Now do the next one.
I'm tired. What's in there?
Some extra problems for you to do when you're finished with those.
More problems? What do you think I am, a slave?
No, but your math isn't as strong as it could be.
Let's see how hard they are.
We'll talk about that when you finish the ones in your exercise book. Now, would you pick up my pen?
All right. Hey, this is cool. Where'd you get it?
I found it. Now, let's see what you can do with that problem.
Thanks. Don't you have any place else to go?
Nope.
It's too bad.
Sheriff, Roger Collins had that pen in his possession when he left the house.
So?
But he didn't have it when he got to the meeting. So that means he must have lost it somewhere along the way.
Or at his home before he left his house. That's better, thanks.
Don't you think you should question him about it?
No, I don't. The case is closed.
But you can reopen a case with new evidence.
There is no new evidence.
Aren't you even going to ask him about it?
About what? A fountain pen and a harebrained notion of yours?
Sheriff, ask Roger Collins where he lost that pen.
Look, Burke, I don't care where he lost it, or even if he lost it. Look, I told you before, I searched Lookout Point from top to bottom.
But you didn't search the beach.
No, I didn't. Look, call me a lousy cop if you want. Call me anything you want, but just get off my back about this, will you? And stay off.
Sheriff, all I want to do is find out who killed Bill Malloy.
Burke, the coroner brought in a decision of accidental death, and that settled it. There's no reason in the world for me to ask anybody anything.
Sure. It's more comfortable to sit here and drink your coffee. Well, enjoy it, Sheriff. Make sure it's hot, and enjoy your coffee.
I give up.
Don't leave for my sake.
No, for my own. Before I throw a punch I'll be sorry for later. Fountain pens.
You made a mistake in multiplication. 8 times 8 is 64, not 65.
Big deal. I was close.
Close isn't good enough. You have to be perfect.
Nobody's perfect. You told me that yourself.
Well, that had nothing to do with math.
I'll bet Mrs. Johnson doesn't know what 8 times 8 is.
Mrs. Johnson?
She was Mr. Malloy's housekeeper, and she's coming to work for us.
Who told you?
I heard my Aunt Elizabeth phone her. You know what else I know?
I know what you don't know, and that's math. Now, let's get back to work. Tackle the next problem.
I'm going to be a millionaire when I grow up.
Well, then you better learn how to add up your money. Next problem.
I'm going into a partnership with Burke Devlin, and he and I are going to own half the world.
Which half?
You don't believe me, but Burke and I are real good friends, and we'll do it, too. You know what he told me?
No, what?
He said that he wouldn't hurt anybody that I liked. So you better start getting me to like you.
How, by skipping math homework?
Yes.
No such luck, David. Besides, no one can hurt me, because I've got a fairy godmother.
That's kid stuff.
Well, how else do you think I could walk along the beach and find a beautiful pen like this?
Did you really find it?
Of course. I was walking along, just thinking, and I happened to look down, and there it was.
So, this is how you do homework, discussing walks along the beach.
I was just telling David how I happened to find this pen.
Oh, yes, the pen. You mentioned it to me, didn't you? May I see it?
Of course. You know, I was wondering if I shouldn't advertise in the local Lost and Found.
That's crazy. Someone will take it.
It is lovely. Oh, I'd keep it, Vicky. It probably dropped off some passing pleasure boat and washed ashore. Consider it the ocean's gift to you.
If it were mine, I wouldn't let anybody take it from me.
Oh, I don't think anyone's downstairs. I'd better go answer the phone.
Father,
Yes, what is it?
you're taking Miss Winter's pen.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry.
I'd hate to lose my gift from the sea.
Yes, of course.
Now, back to math. Where were we?
We were talking about your pen.
I'll tell you all about that after we get through with the last problem. Now, 8 times 8 is what?
64.
And 9 times 8? David, what's 9 times 8?
72.
You
never get me to like
Hello?
Roger.
Yes.
I'm at the Blue Whale.
I
I
don't
want-
think we have anything to talk about, Burke.
I'll expect you here in 10 minutes.
You can wait for 10 hours as far as I'm concerned.
Don't be so abrupt, Roger. All I want is something of mine that you happen to have.
And what's that?
My fountain pen. You will bring it with you, won't you? You're even faster than I thought. 9 minutes and 20 seconds.
Just what is it you want, Burke?
Sit down, will you, Roger? I want my pen. The one I gave Carolyn as a gift. You didn't approve. You took it from her and you said you would give it back to me. May I have it, please?
I'm afraid not.
Why not?
I'm afraid I've lost it.
Would you mind telling me where you lost it and when?
Oh, Burke, this is nonsense. I'm sorry what happened, but I'll be glad to buy you another pen to replace it. Now, that's the best I can do.
I think you can do better than that.
What is this? I lost a fountain pen, that's all. It's not a major crime.
Suppose I tell you where you lost it. What then?
Well, I would say you were clairvoyant.
It didn't occur to me until today, Roger. But when I thought of it, I went up to Lookout Point to see if I could find it.
Lookout Point? Why there of all places?
Because Carolyn told me you had that pen when you left your house. It was in your pocket. Because you met Bill Malloy at Lookout Point.
You're mad.
He received a phone call at 10:30 that night, Roger. It was probably from you. You told him to meet you at the Lookout Point to discuss calling off the meeting. He refused, and you killed him.
Burke, I'm desperately bored with this endless conversation.
You want to stop it? Give me the pen.
I have lost it.
Well, if all you did that night was drive from your house to the office, then it shouldn't be difficult to find. It's probably in your car.
I've already looked.
I see, and you didn't find it there.
That's right.
Well, what do you suggest happened to it?
What are you trying to do, Burke? Build some sort of a ridiculous murder case against me out of thin air? Or perhaps I should say out of some silver fountain pen? You're wasting your time, both yours and mine. Hello, George.
What's going on here?
I was talking to Roger about that pen.
When are you going to come off it, Burke? You know, he just made me so mad a little while ago. I went out of here without paying my check.
I would appreciate it if you would tell him to let me and my family alone.
I've told you before, Burke, the Malloy case is closed, and that's final.
Roger. All right, now, I want to tell you what I think. I think you lost that pen at Lookout Point and someone found it. I don't know who it was, but someone. And sooner or later, whoever has it is going to realize what it means. And then everything is going to come tumbling down around your head.
This pen really is a beauty. It must be worth $1,000.
All right, it's not too bad. You only had 2 mistakes.
Nobody's perfect.
We'll go over those 2 tomorrow.
Tell me the truth. Did you really find it?
Yes, and it's not worth $1,000.
100.
I don't know. I doubt it.
I wish I had a pen like that.
Maybe I'll give it to you someday.
You will? Really?
If you do your lessons and work hard.
Okay, forget it. I knew there was a catch to it.
I wonder who it belonged to.
Some king. Say, Miss Winters, where did you find it?
Well, I don't think I should tell you.
Why not? You told me it was on a beach.
Well, you might go run down and pick up all the others that are there.
There more?
There are thousands of them. They're scattered all over the beach like silver dust. Big ones, giant ones, tiny ones, fat ones, thin ones, all sizes and shapes.
But I'm serious.
Well, I'll tell you how to find it. Look in your crystal ball.
You don't think I can?
Vicky, are you through with David's lessons?
Yes,
Would you come down to the drawing room? I want to talk with you for a moment.
of course.
Sit down, Vicky. Now, Vicky, I'm going to come right to the point. Do you remember our conversation we had one time shortly ago about your leaving Collingwood?
To work for your friends in Florida.
Yes, that's right. I thought it would come as a welcome change for you.
And I said that I didn't want to leave.
Well, but I know, but since then we've become much more friendly, and I have become proportionately concerned for your welfare.
I still haven't changed my mind.
That phone call a minute ago, it was from Burke Devlin. He asked me to meet him in town, and I did.
What's that got to do with my leaving?
He has made another threat against us.
Burke's quarrel is with you and your sister, not with me.
But, Vicky, don't you understand? You live here with us. That's all that matters to Burke.
How can he hurt me? I don't own anything here.
How can you be so stubborn? Look, Vicky. I think my sister was wrong in persuading you to stay on here.
I don't want to seem ungrateful, Roger, but
Listen to me. Just leave. If it'll help, I'll give you $2,000 or $3,000 to make up for all that you've gone through.
Winters!
I know the answer. I know it.
David, this is a private conversation.
But this is important.
It'll have to wait.
It doesn't matter. I do appreciate your offer, but I'm going to stay.
You won't change your mind.
I don't think so.
I didn't want my father to hear.
Hear what?
About the pen. I want it to be our secret, just yours and mine.
What secret?
I know where you found it.
Well, of course you do. I told you it was on the beach.
Yes, but you didn't say what beach, and I know it was at Lookout Point.
How did you find that out?
I did what you told me to do. I looked in my crystal ball.
It was just a lucky guess.
No, it wasn't. My crystal ball told me you found it at Lookout Point, and that's where you did.
Laugh with newlyweds Julie and Dave on Love on a Rooftop, in color tonight at 9:30, 8:30 Central Time on ABC. Dark Shadows is a Dan Curtis production.